friends. Hello, hi, how are you? I hope you guys are having an amazing day today. Today is declutter day. We're decluttering eyeshadow palettes. I don't know how this is gonna go for me. I'm hoping that I'm a little bit more intense and like cutthroat than normal, but like honestly, who knows how this is gonna go. It really could go either way. I'm basically just hoping that I can get rid of a decent amount and just kind of put everything into a more curated place and have a bit of a more curated collection, because I know there are some palettes I have right now that I just never use and I don't really need. So I'm hopefully gonna get rid of a few things today, and if you wanna see me get rid of some things and you want to see me declutter some things, stay tuned because we're doing that today. I love you guys, and let's just jump into it. Do a cool edit or something. Be like fireworks, maybe an explosion, just something crazy. Just do something fun. Okay, editing Hannah, you little sassy one. Okay, thank you. As you guys saw, I put everything on the floor behind me and I kind of like separated it into piles. That's what that first clip was. So I'm gonna take my piles that I've organized based on either brand or like type of makeup or like whatever, and I'm gonna bring them up here and then we're gonna go through them individually, and I think that'll help break things up a little bit instead of just looking at the gigantic pile and then not knowing what to do. So we're just gonna grab the first pile. Let's light a candle. This one is white caramel cold brew. Super, super nice. Really brings you back to winter, you know? Oh, crap. The one time I lit a candle on camera, I can't do it. Okay, let's just get started. So I guess we're gonna start with my Urban Decay palettes because I don't actually know how many of these I'm going to be keeping. So we have the Urban Decay Electric. I am conflicted because this is legitimately probably the best brights palette on the planet. It's so neon and beautiful and awesome and amazing, but I never ever use it. This is never what I grab for, but it's discontinued. So it's not like if I regret getting rid of it, I'll be able to just like go out and buy it again. I wish you could see how much use I've actually used this as. It doesn't look like it's been used at all, but I have really used this so much, like so much. It would really make me sad to get rid of. I don't use it though. I'm really, let me put this one to the side. I'm conflicted. Palettes is gonna be tough. This one I just feel like it's the same way. I never use it, but it was my very first eyeshadow palette, so I have like emotional attachment to it, and this one has been used. Like you can see, it's definitely, hold on, okay. I think I am gonna get rid of the Naked Cherry only because I don't use it. I have a lot of other pink palettes that I enjoy more, if not like the same amount as this one, and I don't ever really reach for it, so I think I am gonna get rid of this one. And then I think I'm also going to get rid of my Naked Ultimate Basics because this is another one I just don't use, and it really hasn't been used at all. Like it looks brand new, so I think I'm going to also get rid of that one. And I think I'm going to keep these two, even though I don't really like Urban Decay's formula except for with this electric palette. I think I'm going to try to put this maybe on my desk so I reach for it more. Is it even still pigmented? Yeah, it's still pretty pigmented. It's just the pink, but I'm gonna keep these. Sentimental, they really are. These two can go though. I don't need these. Then we have the Anastasia palettes. As you guys know, it's been Anastasia April, so I've been using these palettes all month. Let's go through. So Prism. Prism's a keep. Not my favorite. I actually just did a Tutorial Tuesday with this where I talked about it not being my favorite and why it's not my favorite, but it's still a palette that I think inspires me. It's different. It's something cool. I don't have some of these shades in like other palettes, so I think this is definitely a keep. Riviera is a keep as well. It's brand new, so I want to play around with that more. Sultry is a keep. This is probably, this and Soft Glam are my favorite ABH palettes. I love this. We're gonna come back to Norvina. Soft Glam is a keep. I love Soft Glam. definitely keeping that, and gonna keep my Modern Renaissance because it still performs really well and it's beautiful. I don't think I'm gonna keep Norvina. I don't like it. It doesn't, and it makes me so sad because I wanted to like it and I like the color story and I like it in theory, but it just doesn't work for me. Man, that sucks though. It sucks to make my ABH collection smaller, but if I'm not using it and I don't like it and it holds no sentimental purpose, there's no reason to keep it just to have more ABH palettes, you know? All right, Juvia's Place. This is hard because I'm planning on doing Juvia's Place July for Tutorial Tuesday, where I use a Juvia's Place palette every day, every week in July. This one I used to love, but I don't use it anymore. This one I only used a few times. I liked it. Don't use it. This one I never really liked because I don't find the color story to be super good. Like I can't create a ton with that. And then this one I really love. This is probably my favorite, the Magic palette. I think it's really versatile. I think you can do a good look of cool tones, a good look of warm tones, mix the two to do warm and cool tones. What do I want to do? I think I am going to get rid of the Deuce palette because I just don't use it at all. I think I am going to keep Afrique because while I don't use it a ton, I like it a lot, and I am doing that Juvia's Place July, and I think I am going to keep my Masquerade palette for now and just try and remind myself to play with these. But the Deuce, I'm not even, I look at this and I'm just like, meh, like it doesn't even really inspire me at all. So, all right, these are all my Too Faced palettes. So definitely keeping the Peachy Mattes. This is a fantastic little palette and I really, really enjoy the pink tones and the peach tones. This is a perfect color story for me. So we're keeping that. I think it's time to get rid of my Peanut Butter and Jelly palette, and it really does break my heart because it's such a cute, adorable little palette. I love the packaging, and there was a time I really truly loved this, but if I'm being totally honest, like I haven't reached for this in so long. I never use this, so we're gonna get rid of it. Definitely keeping my Peach palette because, I mean, she's beautiful. I love, this is probably my favorite too. The two peach ones are probably my two faves. Also keeping Gingerbread Spice. I got this last holiday season and I actually think it's a really solid palette. I definitely didn't need it, but now that I have it, I love all of these shades. Also gonna keep the Chocolate Gold. I just bought this at Ulta. I ended up only paying like 10 bucks for it because I used my points and I haven't used it too much, but I'm definitely gonna dip into these shimmers really soon. This one I'm conflicted. It's definitely old. This is one of my oldest palettes. It's probably over 3 years old at this point, and it's not performing like it used to just because it's older. It's still a fantastic palette, and this is still one of my favorite Too Faced palettes along with the peach ones. So I am kind of conflicted. It definitely doesn't like smell bad, or it's not like smelling weird at all, but it also doesn't smell like chocolate anymore, and it also, I've just noticed that it's not as pigmented, it's a little bit harder to work with, all of that stuff. So I'm kind of on the fence about this one. I don't like throwing things out. I'm gonna keep this a little bit longer, but I think I'm gonna have to either rebuy a chocolate bar palette or like get a new one if I really like this, because this is something I would rebuy. I really love this palette. I'm either gonna have to like rebuy this or something's gonna have to happen because this is definitely gonna be bad soon and I shouldn't use it, but I'm gonna keep it for now. All right, Violet Voss. I am gonna get rid of this. I haven't used it since the last declutter when I questioned keeping it or getting rid of it. It's their rainbow palette. I don't really use this ever, so I'm getting rid of it. And then I think I'm gonna keep the Holy Grail for now. Used it as a Tutorial Tuesday at the beginning of the year, and it really made me fall in love with this palette, just how solid it is as a palette, like a neutral pink palette. This is very solid. I like the formula, I like the way it performs, so I'm gonna keep that. This is my first sort of hodgepodge pile. This was like palettes that I only have one of. Not to be confused with more indie palettes. I guess this would be in the indie palette pile, but whatever. So this is my kind of palettes I only have one of. The first thing is my Melt Stack, and I'm definitely keeping this. I have the Rust Stack. It was very expensive. I do not think that it was worth the coin, but it is a cute little palette. It's a great neutral palette, so I'm definitely keeping that. All right, the 80s Baby. I didn't love this. I just got it for my birthday and I've only used it a couple times, but I didn't like this formula. I didn't love the way the colors performed, at least the purples. I guess I haven't used these brights yet, so I guess I'll keep it and give these brights a nice try and see if I can play around with these and like these more. But I wasn't super impressed with the purples in this palette, but I'm gonna keep it for now because it's very new. I don't like to get rid of new things unless I really didn't like them. This is the Supernova from Bad Habit. I'm getting rid of this. I barely use it. It's just not a great palette. Love my Dose of Colors palette, the Desi and Katie. These shimmers in here are just absolutely beautiful. This is a really solid, cute palette. Definitely gonna get rid of this Moira one. While I think it's a cute color story and I like the palette itself, I did a tutorial Tuesday on this one. I like this palette a lot, but it's just too basic. It's not something I'm gonna reach for when I have all of these other, like, out of this world neutral palettes. So I'm not gonna really reach for this. My Berries and Cream. I'm gonna keep this. I love this. I love the purples. It's a little bit more of a cooler toned palette, which I actually don't have a lot of. I don't have a ton of cool tones just because I gravitate more towards warm tones. So I think it's nice to have something like this where I can make it a little bit warmer, but I can also make it cooler with some of these cool shades down here. So I'm definitely keeping that. I love the Dominique Cosmetics formula. It's really nice. I'm conflicted about this. I don't use this, but these shimmers, my God, are they beautiful. These two shimmers up here. They're just, like, so unique. That green gold is so unique, as is this more pinky shade. They're both so unique. Maybe, oh my God, you know what I might do? I really might actually depop these two shades and get rid of the rest of the palette because I don't use these colors literally ever. Like, I never use these, but I want these two shimmers, so I might actually just go ahead and depop these two and throw them in a palette. That's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna put this to the side as a declutter because I am gonna get rid of it, but I'm gonna save these two shades because I love them so much, but I don't need to keep the entire palette for those two shades. And I think I'll use them more if they're in an independent palette. So this is a declutter technically. So whatever, forever. So Rude Cosmetics sent this over. I like the palette. It works nicely. I think the payoff is pretty good. I'm not like obsessed with this palette though. And while I think it would be a good palette for a beginner who just wants to play around with color, and I do love the packaging, like that's so cute. I think it would be a good palette for a beginner to use with color because they're not hyperpigmented. I do feel like since I'm getting more familiar with color, I gravitate more towards my like La Dolce Vita or my Colored Raine Vivid Pigments palette because they're very, very bright. While this one is just kind of mildly bright. So I think I am gonna get rid of this one and give it to a better home. Maybe one of my friends who is just getting into color would really, really like this. So I'm gonna get rid of my Meet Matrimony, which stinks because the formula is really good. And I really like these neutrals, but I never, ever, ever reach for this. So I also think I'm gonna get rid of my Venus 3. I had a friend give this to me, and it was very, very nice of her to give this to me, but I don't ever, ever use it. And I don't wanna use it on my channel because I don't really support the brand. So I think I am just gonna go ahead and get rid of this one as well. And then of course I have my P. Louise palette. This thing is ginormous and I love it. It really is one of the loves of my life at the moment. It sucks that she's had some controversies lately because I would still like to use this, but I don't really feel comfortable using it on my channel. So I use this more in my own personal time and I think it's absolutely amazing. All right, these two palettes, hold on, let's get rid of these. These two palettes are not going literally anywhere. This is the Natasha Denona Gold palette. A subscriber sent this to me for my birthday. Cried, love you, thank you. But this is a beautiful, stunning palette. This is actually going to be the next tutorial Tuesday when Anastasia April is over. This will be the first one of May. I think this palette has some really unique and cool duochromes in it, with also some really solid mattes. So I'm definitely keeping this. And then obviously my Sunset palette. While I don't think this is the best formula of all time, it does get quite a bit of use. And I also think it was $129, so I'm not just gonna get rid of it. So really that on that. Here's my Morphe collection. There's a lot. Man, okay, let's do this. So this one I'm keeping. This is the 9C. And while this seems like a really kind of dull palette, it's amazing. Like I bring this traveling with me a lot, especially when I'm just going away for like a couple days. It's a great travel palette. These shimmers are fantastic and they pair beautifully with the mattes. It's a really solid cohesive 9 p.m. palette. Normally I don't like little palettes. I like this one. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of some of my Jaclyn palettes. I don't need the whole vault set. It kind of kills me to get rid of some of them because it's just like I bought it as a set. It feels weird separating them, but I think I'm gonna get rid of Dark Magic, which I did like, but I never use. and I'm gonna get rid of Ring the Alarm. I think I'm gonna get rid of the red. I never use this, and the reds are frankly not very good. I liked Dark Magic a lot, but I never reached for this one. Whereas Bling Boss I reach for all the time. This is one of my favorite ones from the whole collection. I love the purple one, and this one has some really cool and unique shades that while they aren't the most amazing quality, this is like a unique palette for me. So I'm gonna keep these two and get rid of these two. It's kind of sad, I'm not even gonna lie. All right, this is the 15T. They sent this to me, Morphe did actually, for their Christmas collection, and I think I'm gonna get rid of it. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of it. I basically have these colors in the 35 Boss Mood 35M palette. Like I have these greens and this kind of bright colors, and these colors are all very dark. So while I like the palette itself, I personally don't need it, so I'm gonna get rid of it. Is this my handmade one? Oh, this is a mess. I made this. There was a night I just said, screw it. I'm gonna make my own Morphe palette from all my other Morphe palettes, and I'm gonna depop them. And it didn't go well. So I'm just gonna completely get rid of this. Just gonna take that L. This is the Boss Mood palette. This one I really like. See, like I have these greens from that other palette and these kind of orange bright shades. I don't really need it in that palette, so I think I'm gonna keep this one. I'm obviously gonna keep my Jaclyn Hill palette. I love this palette, I adore this palette. It's been very well used and it's something I really like. I am gonna get rid of my 24G. In theory, I thought this was a cute palette, and I still don't hate the palette. I think it's fine, but it's not amazing. It's colors I have in different formulas that I like more. None of these are super unique. Some of these I even have in Morphe's formula, so this is just not really a necessity for me, so I'm gonna get rid of it. And it takes up a lot of space for something I don't use. I'm gonna keep my James Charles palette though. While I have mixed feelings about this, like I don't really think it's for beginners, and I don't think people should be shamed for not wanting to use it if you're a beginner and you want simple makeup. I do think it's a good palette, and I am going to be keeping it. Man, we kind of cut that Morphe stuff down. Colored Raine, keeping both of these. These are two of my favorite palettes. Colored Raine Queen of Hearts is probably my favorite palette all time. If I'm talking formula, cohesiveness of shades that I love, it's very pinky and purpley tones with a little bit of orange to kind of spice things up. I think this is a really fabulous palette, so I'm gonna keep that. And then I'm obviously keeping my Colored Raine Vivid Pigments palette. This is beautiful. One of the best color brights palettes in my opinion that you can get. I'm not getting rid of any Pat McGrath palettes either. So this one I actually got for Christmas. This is the Mothership Sublime. It's their mini, and it's just a really neutral one. This is so beautiful. I love Pat McGrath shadows. I think they're everything. This is the Mothership Subversive Metamorphosis. I bought this myself when they were having a 20% off sale. It's all shimmers and they're all beautiful. And then I'm obviously gonna keep this one. Charles actually bought this for me for hitting 10,000 subscribers, so it means a lot to me. This is the Mothership 5, and it's just a really pretty red, bronzy, gorgeous. These two shades on the end here are something I've never experienced in my life. This is a really beautiful, gorgeous palette, so I'm obviously keeping those three as well. They're very meaningful to me, and I appreciate them and love them. These ones were kind of loners too. I am gonna get rid of my Emily Wants palette. I don't use it, and it sucks because it's a good palette. Not like out of this world, but it's pretty good. And I like it, but I just don't ever reach for it. I think it's a little too big and a little not interesting enough. So I am going to declutter that. I am also decluttering my Weekend Festival palette. I had this as a Tutorial Tuesday and I just hated it. Like I never wanted to reach for it. I didn't really like it. The colors didn't call to me. Like I don't need that. And then sadly, I might actually rebuy this, like honestly. I haven't decided yet. But this was my go-to neutral palette, and it still is like my favorite neutral palette, but I went to go use it the other day and it's dried up. It went bad. And I think Tarte shadows and powder products just kind of dry out faster than other ones. I don't know if it's like their formula or what goes on, but their stuff doesn't last nearly as long as other powder products that I've had. And I'm sad because I love this palette. I recommend this to a lot of you guys, and I still would recommend it because I still think it's fantastic, but I've had it for 2.5 years and it's just dried up at this point. So sadly, this is gonna be parting. I'm very sad about this. So this is kind of my indie makeup stuff that I bought because like I saw on Instagram and it looked pretty. This is the September Rose Cosmetics Slush palette, and it looks like this. And this is another Brights palette that I was really excited to get, and I can't wait to, Charles bought this for me for my birthday, can't wait to play around with this more, see how it holds up against my other Brights palettes, but I'm keeping that. I am going to be keeping this one. This is the Fall Fusion palette. I don't really use Blush Tribe on my channel that much, mostly because I feel as though there's like this negative connotation of influencers who, like small creators who use Blush Tribe. It's kind of considered the like Morphe for small creators, and I don't want to feel like, I don't want you guys, I don't have a code with them, I have no affiliation with them, but I don't want you guys to feel like I'm like pushing something on you. So I don't really use them on my channel as much, but I do love this palette specifically. This one of my friends, Angelica, my YouTube friends, actually has a shade name after her, which is so cool. And I also just adore this palette. I think it's phenomenal. So this is one that I'm definitely keeping. And then my Ace Beauty palette I can definitely get rid of. I got this in a BoxyCharm and it's just not that good. I don't like it. I do think I'm gonna get rid of this Maelstrom palette from Delance Beauty. It's not amazing, the quality, to be perfectly honest. It's not a quality that I'm like, it's not a formula that I'm obsessed with. I don't really like the pressed glitter shades that are in here, and I also don't even like the shimmers all that much. The black is strange because it has a lot of glitter in it. There's not a lot of cohesive looks I can make with just this palette, so I'm gonna get rid of this one as well. My pigment palettes, I actually might be getting rid of this too. I don't know. Didn't love this. I did a whole review on a Tutorial Tuesday, and while I think for the price it's a good palette, it just doesn't hold up to some of my other palettes. However, I have friends on YouTube that I know that love this palette and they really make it look beautiful, and so I just want to play with it a little bit longer and see if I can make this look beautiful, and keep trying to work to make this look really pretty. I'm gonna keep it for now. Play around with it some more and see what I can do with it. This is another Blush Tribe palette. It's the Malika, and I actually might get rid of this one. No, I'm gonna keep it. I like the pinks. I'm a sucker for pinks. I'm sorry. Game of Cones palette, I'm gonna keep. I have a special video planned for this for Game of Thrones, so I'm gonna keep that. And then these are all my Midas palettes. I do have an affiliate code with Midas, and they're a brand that I really love working with. So I have this is the first one they ever came out with. This is the Resurrection palette, and I like this one, but this is definitely my least favorite Midas palette, just because of the pressed glitters. I'm not a pressed glitter fan, and also I just think packaging wise and everything, this was not their, like, this was their first one, so I don't dislike it, but it was not my favorite from them. But I do love these two. This is the La Dolce Vita. I think this is just a beautiful pigmented gorgeous palette, and I also love the Honeycomb. This was a collab with Jennifer Laconis. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but I love this one as well. So I'm keeping all three of these, and you can use my code SMOKYGLOW for 20% off your purchase. No, you don't have to, but I do keep all stuff like that I have like codes with and stuff, just because like I support the brand. I like the brand. I'm gonna use these in different videos and stuff, so I'm gonna keep those. ColourPop. Okay, so I have the It's My Pleasure and Ooh La La. I'm keeping these because I have a plan for a Tutorial Tuesday combining both of these for the palette of the week, and I also just like these palettes together. The pinks and the purples, if you're sensing a theme, call my name. I know this is Juvia's. It's all ColourPop with 4 JD Glow shadows as well. I basically had 4 different ColourPop palettes, and I just took all of them out. I never used them. They were all in like the big 12 pan palettes. I never used them, so I took all of them out and I put them all in here. And I've used this a lot more now, especially since it has my JD Glow shadows, which I love. I've used this like a ton since doing that. So, and I like the way it's arranged. I think I did a decent job arranging everything. And yeah, this is my little ColourPop Monster palette. And then finally, this is, again, I'm probably not getting rid of a lot of these, because even though I don't use them on my channel because of the drama with Huda, I am gonna keep these. So this is my Coral Obsessions. I talked about getting this when it was on sale, and I wasn't sure if I was still supporting Huda or what was going on, and a lot of you guys, it was on sale and it was going away, and a lot of you guys were like, you should get it, you'll love it. I did pick it up, I love it. I really, truly love this. Like a lot. I really, really, really like it. It's a really solid, I don't normally like little palettes like this because this is tiny. It's like bigger, it's like fits in the palm of my hand. Love, love this palette. The new nude I got as a Christmas present from my aunt, and I love it. Like, I feel bad almost how much I love Huda's products. Same thing with Desert Dusk. I mean, I love this. This is one of the most beautiful palettes. Some of her palettes are some of the most beautiful that I own, along with the rose golds. This one is probably the only one I would think to part with, but I'm not going to because I worked so hard to get this palette and I do still really like it. Some of these foiled shades are not my favorite. It's just a weird formula, but the mattes are really solid, and I also think there are just some beautiful shades in here. So, and with that, the declutter's done. Let's do a count and I'll let you guys know how we made out. All right, friends, so I got rid of 22 palettes and I kept 49, which I actually feel is not the worst thing on the planet. I also forgot to mention in the intro that I did give away, I had a friend come over and I did give her 3 palettes. I gave her my KKW palette with Mario because I never used it, and I gave her the new Pure palette that BoxyCharm just sent, and then I gave her one more and I can't remember what it was. So technically I got rid of 25 total if you're counting the 3 I gave to her. So I got rid of 25 and I kept 49. I think staying under 50 palettes is very good. I know some of you are probably thinking that's insane, and it is insane, but it's also my life. So I'm very happy with what I'm keeping. I like doing this from time to time. I like my collection feeling just a little bit more curated and like personal to me, you know what I mean? Like it just kind of helps you feel a little bit more freeing. So that is gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys like this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, or just like, or just subscribe, or do neither. Honestly, just so happy you're watching me. Thank you so much for being here. My merch, my social media, and everything I'm wearing on my face, which is absolutely nothing, sis, will be linked down below. And yeah, I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!